Food and Beverage Magazine Live, bringing food and beverage to life with your hosts, James Beard Award winner Jennifer English and Food and Beverage Magazine publisher Michael Politz. Featuring leaders in the hospitality, branded food and beverage, and CPG industries, many of whom are Jennifer and Michael's friends in the business. For an informal and informative conversation where friends in the business share the latest intel, ideas, and best practices. Live, juicy inside scoop from the tastemakers, newsmakers, bread bakers, drink shakers, spoon lickers, clam diggers, farms, foodies, and friends of the food and beverage magazine world. Here are your hosts, Jennifer English and Michael Politz.
I feel like dancing in hot, 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 right? I love the idea of on this gorgeous sunny day where I am, that the warmth of the sun and the hot sauces that you put on your food make everything perfect. Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer English. I'm the editor-at-large of Food and Beverage Magazine. And one of the growing categories in food is online food sales. And one of the big topics in our chat rooms are what the entrepreneurs who are creating these incredible startup companies and bringing products to life as food entrepreneurs, making ripples and waves in the industry with all their inspiration. These are the people who are seizing the silver lining moment of the COVID and taking advantage of booming online food sales and taking the opportunity that was presented to them, perhaps by getting out of a gig or losing a restaurant opportunity or somehow finding themselves in need of a side hustle or a second hustle or a new first hustle. Joining us today, I am really excited to have with us somebody who we met not long ago right here on the digital world. Mark Shannon is the founder of Great White Salsa, and we're going to talk about what hot really means and what this opportunity in this place and time means from my home state, from my home turf. The sound of this man's voice sounds like home to me. So I might get a little emotional as we talk because I'm a little homesick. And for him to come and visit with us today is exciting on a couple of different levels. Mark Shannon, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I love that I can bring that home feeling to you. And I'll try my best to work in the accent.
I think it comes so naturally. We were talking before the segment. Tell everybody about how you got started.
Great.
What you make.
Yeah, I use the superlative great now more than ever, and it's subconscious. Basically, when I began, we started out with a small garden in my dad's house, and he just started to. It was something for him to do, and tomatoes, garlic, onions, and he started making some sauce, some marinara, and something for pasta. And then a friend had gifted him a ghost pepper plant, and he was like, "What the heck is this thing?" So we were
it's
like,
not native to New England, we'll just say.
Yeah, exactly. So we thought it was a gag. We didn't know. The hottest thing we know is just like your everyday spices you get from like a Fra Diavolo from an Italian restaurant, Frank's Red Hot. But it culminated into a salsa at first, and I brought it to work, and people were like, "Hey, like, did you make this?" I was like, "Yeah." I had a lot of people cry because it was too hot, and then it grew into the next couple of years as a hot sauce.
And where was work at the time?
What's that?
Where was work at the time?
I was working in Charlestown for a payment processing company.
So you weren't even working as a chef?
I have no culinary background.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, my uncle, he was a chef. He worked under Todd English in Boston. He went to Germany, and he did the chef life. So I learned tidbits, flavor profiles and whatnot. So I messed around a lot for the last 3 years with certain flavors. But the thing I learned most was keeping it simple. And everything that I use, I'm a one-man show too. So everything I use on these bottles and in the recipe is just straightforward. Peppers. I don't use a sweetener. I actually use a monk fruit sweetener instead of like a sugar. And I go for flavor first. If it's per request, people usually ask, for really hot. So I made a Carolina Reaper one. But it just came into going to fairs and
So what's your website? Let's tell everybody where they can find this.
Sure. It's trygreatwhite.com.
Now, as New Englanders, we're going to tie this all together with where the world learned about great white sharks, which was, of course, 1975. The movie Jaws comes out, terrorizes an entire nation and the entire world. And we learned that the bite of a great white is nothing to take lightly. I have to imagine that has to have some influence, given that it came from our very own Massachusetts. But maybe I'm wrong. What does the name mean to you, and how did you come up with great white?
Sure. At first, being from Winthrop, a small town, Winthrop by the sea, I was initially thinking, by the sea salsa, which is kind of have a subconscious, twist to it. And then I was like, what? We live near the ocean. What is the most powerful thing here that can resemble a ghost pepper? And then obviously being within, I would say 100 miles from the Cape, a great white. Great whites are relevant. People know about them. People fear them. And I thought it was the most relevant thing that we could do to create a brand. And
we've got it pulled up here, and we're going to show the audience. So here's your website. It says, "This sauce bites back. Small batch, handmade sauce." Love the label. Are those chili peppers where the eyes, the black eyes of the great white shark would normally be?
It's almost like a pepper mustache.
Oh, okay. Let me see that again then. Jonathan, go back up. Let's see it. A pepper mustache. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he's very visual.
The pineapple jalapeno, the ghost chili pepper, and the pineapple habanero. For the uninitiated, can you talk about the three kinds of pepper levels? You've got a red, a green, and what is I'm going to describe as that beautiful tropical orange that both the habanero and the pineapple might hint at. But talk a little bit about the flavors and the chilies you use.
Sure. So everyone that's, when you look at the bottle, you kind of have that fear, right? It's going to be too hot. So I'm prepared for that. So what I did is I'll go by low to least to most. And I started with the pineapple jalapeno. And I found that has...
Do you have one of those there with you?
Yep. So right here.
And so that's the green one. And that has like a green golden color to it. And I would look at that and think that that's hot. And you're telling me that's the mildest you have.
Yeah, and I try to think of a way not to call it hot sauce. So I'm still working on that. If you have feedback, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, no, you and I'll chat offline. This is the kind of stuff we do here.
Yeah, and typically this is the one I go to when someone says they don't like hot sauce. And it has a great flavor, a tiny kick. It's not going to, knock you out.
This is a really good sauce for using Eskimo pie in the restroom.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not here. I want to make sure that people can enjoy it as well. So, someone that doesn't like it, if they're looking to order and someone says, hey, it's too hot for me, this is the one for them. And I'll kind of label it that way. I'm trying to work on that.
Now, is this a flavor that I would put into a barbecue sauce if I were going to be glazing some grilled chicken or grilled fish?
Yeah, like a lot of people love it with their breakfast eggs or pork.
Interesting.
I thought about incorporating apple, like a green apple flavor to it. It would match the profile perfect and bring that sweetness naturally. And then,
as a native New Englander, do you know the flavor that I'm conjuring up in my sort of imagination inspiration right now is growing up with the great Portuguese chorizo and linguiça. There's a very distinctive kind, not the Mexican style, but we have a Portuguese linguiça. I think that sounds delicious. Jalapeno, pineapple, linguiça, grilled. That sounds sensational to me.
Yeah, well, you just made my recipe for this weekend.
Like, the Gaspar's brand of the linguiça?
Oh, yeah.
Throw that on the grill, right? And then get those really nice, soft, sweet Portuguese buns. See, the Portuguese sweet rolls like that we use for sandwiches in New England, They're like the King's Hawaiian roll before King's Hawaiian even came back east.
Yep. That's the big fluffy. I love that.
Or even better, get a really nice Italian bread and then grill that. So it's going to have even a little bit more of that savory, almost yeasty sourdough quality kind of, and then I'm all in. What does he think? Is that sushi?
That's a little habanero.
I love that.
Which actually leads to the next one, which is the pineapple habanero.
Now I'm getting a little afraid because that's hot for me. And I want you to describe the culture of people who love hot sauce, because there is a subculture of people all over the world. Their music can't be too hard. Their sauce can't be too hot. There are just people who love those perimeters of extreme experience to feel whatever they do. And there's a really booming market for this. Talk about these people.
So I tried to capture everyone in the essence of hot sauce. So the range, right? People that obviously like hot sauce but don't want to get too hot. But then I also want to target those people that are, it's almost like a cult. It's $1 billion industry right now. And there's a lot of players in the game.
That's with a B.
What's that?
That's with a B. A billion.
Billion, yes, B. So people love, and if you look at this, I've done a lot of research, and if you look at the science behind it, right, the heat and releases endorphins the same way as an excitement. Like if you're on a roller coaster, skydiving, same endorphins, same chemicals in the brain, and just the palate of the tongue releases that in your brain. So people, it's almost like a drug. People are addicted to that feeling, and this is just the safest way to do it. So it's definitely a large following, and we can't go to amusement parks. So this is the flavor roller coaster, and this is the biggest.
Oh, I love that, a flavor roller coaster.
Yeah, I've done a lot of research, so I'm trying to think of how I can connect with the masses. And
then we're going to run out of time, but take us to the last and hottest, and I'm going to guess most popular. Is that a beautiful young voice I hear in the background?
That is my 1.5-year-old daughter and
I love
my
it.
4-year-old son.
I love it. Hi, kids. So tell us about the hottest of the hot.
So the hottest of the hot was actually someone in my office, Michael. He was drinking it like a baby bottle, and I was like, "You're crazy." He goes, "I need hotter." And I was like, "Okay." So I came up with the Carolina Reaper. Nothing special, nothing new, but great flavor, and just the flavor hits, and then it's the heat, and that's the thing I focused on most. I was working on the recipes for flavor first, and then the heat. There was my first batch was a 15-second delay on the heat, and I don't know how I did it. I wrote down every method on my process, and I couldn't get it back. I don't know what I did different, but it was literally a good delay. But this one,
and by the way, all our Facebook friends that are from our clubhouse room are saying, yay, and hi, Mama J, and they're saying, wow, what an amazing time. I just got my book. People want to know where to buy this. Where can they get this product?
TryGreatWhite.com, Instagram, Great White Hot Sauce.
And can we just quickly pull up your Instagram page and show people how your product is coming to life for people? You don't have to do it. We'll do it here.
Okay.
Here it is. So show us a little bit. Take us through this.
It's a journey. It's definitely a journey. I took a lot down, but I like to keep the things that I started with to show the path.
Wow, that looks hot.
It's actually really good. It's the flavor, and then there's heat. It's something that's bearable, which is great. And that's kind of where the branding came into play.
Can I tell you, the color of that makes me want to cook with apples.
Yeah. What I use
like if I put that in caramel for the caramel apple.
Oh, yeah.
A hot sauce caramel apple for, like, to me, I can almost taste it.
Yeah, and I make sure when I grab these peppers, I grab bell peppers that have the best color. So people think I'm crazy sitting there and just grabbing the best colors, because every batch is different, but I try to focus on maintaining a good color.
Well, listen, you've been lovely to come in, introduce everybody to what you make. On the Instagram, what's your tag?
At Great White Hot Sauce.
At Great White Hot Sauce. Mark, thank you for taking me home.
I appreciate you and your time, and thanks for having me as well.
This is awesome. Cheers.
All right. Good to see you. Thank you.
Whether you are thinking about becoming a restaurateur or you are already in the business, Michael Politz has written a must-read, The Food and Beverage Magazine's Guide to Restaurant Success. Pick up your copy today at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, or wherever fine books are sold.
Need a push getting your spirits, wine, or beverage brand into the hands of consumers? Interested in winning medals like a double gold award? Proof Awards 2020, the ultimate beverage competition, can help jumpstart your brand into the hands of beverage buyers. Enter the Proof Awards. Be a part of the Proof Awards marketing campaign with our partner, Food and Beverage Magazine. All of our judges are buyers, and that's what sets our awards program apart from the others. Our judges head the beverage programs for restaurants, bars, nightclubs, casinos, liquor stores, big box retail, and national wine and spirits distributors. Your brand will be tasted by buyers from more than 15 states across the U.S. We have hundreds of categories to choose from at www.proofawards.com. Be seen by 12 million readers with our partner, Food and Beverage Magazine. Get tasted and rated by buyers. The 2020 Proof Awards competition is open for spirits, wine, and beverage brands today. Proof Awards 2020, moving brands into the marketplace. www.proofawards.com.